Hi, I'm Heather French Henry, the host of Heart of Gold, a monthly program whose mission is to highlight examples of what makes Louisville, Kentucky the most compassionate city in the world, as declared by Mayor Greg Fisher. This series features local nonprofit organizations of all shapes and sizes, which are working to improve the quality of life for all Louisville citizens. Thank you for joining us, and a special thanks to WHS-TV for generously producing this series. This particular segment features Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky. The Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky is a statewide organization that serves those affected by brain injury through advocacy, prevention, outreach, service, and support. The Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky has a board of directors in 4 Kentucky communities and support groups throughout the Commonwealth. We're here today with the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky Executive Director, Chell Austin. Chell, so good to have you with us here today. Excellent. You all do such tremendous work, and I know that the traumatic brain injury and the work that you're doing, the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky, is a pretty hot topic right now across the United States and worldwide. I mean, spanning the ages from children to military veterans and elderly alike. So tell me, what is a brain injury and how it affects individuals and families?
Yes, there's no more important part of your body than the brain. It controls everything. Everything from speech to talk to walk, everything. And when you have a brain injury, one or all of 3 things can happen. You can be affected physically, you can be affected emotionally, or you can be affected cognitively. And usually it's some sort of combination of the 3. And it's a devastating injury. It's an injury that affects not just the person, but the entire family and everybody that surrounds them.
And sometimes the traumatic brain injuries don't show up immediately and can have lasting effects that show up many years later.
That's true. The mild brain injuries have that effect, and of course it's only mild if it's not you.
That's exactly right. It's always the most important when it's happening to you.
Exactly.
So tell me about the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky's unique outreach programs. I know that we've worked on several outreaches together in various ways. Tell me a little bit about how you do that.
Well, when a family suffers a brain injury, when a member of a family, it's a traumatic event, it turns the world upside down. And we go to the hospital and the rehab centers to meet with them because they don't know what to do. They're being treated medically, but they have no idea what resources are available, what options are, and actually what they're facing. So we meet with them, give them resource information, and let them know that there's a place that they can be in contact with as they continue down the journey. And many of them do continue that contact for quite a while, a lot of times a lifetime.
And I know through as much tragedy that a traumatic brain injury can cause in a family or to an individual, but there are also successes, the silver lining, certainly. Do you have a particular story you'd like to share or instance?
Well, there's so many. We have a survivor dinner every year where all folks that survive brain injury, doesn't mean they lead the life they led before, come and celebrate. But there are people that have been deemed that they were going to not be able to survive, that they were going to be basically in a brain dead situation, and they come out of it and lead productive lives, you know, and it happens all the time. And really, we define it as, you know, going into a life that is worth living and that, you know, is productive for you.
And certainly education and awareness are key, and
Oh,
you and I have
absolutely.
worked together on a very special group of people who are close to my heart, and those are our military veterans.
Oh, yes.
Can you share with the audience a little bit about your work with military veterans?
The wars that we've fought in the last decade or so have really not been bullet wars, they've been explosion wars, which have resulted in lots and lots of brain injuries. And many of these veterans come back, and many of them are unaware that they've been injured. And they may be having various symptoms of emotional problems like we've talked about, or cognitive problems, or any kind of problems. But they don't know really what's causing this. And many times it can be confused, and many of the symptoms mirror PTSD. So there's sort of a mix and a kind of a crossover there. And so you basically what we try to do with veterans is we're working with folks that are kind of outside the system, trying to identify who they are and try to draw them into to find places that can maybe help them with some of their issues.
Well, and that leads me to the next question. What types of things do you do to educate Kentuckians about brain injury and its impact on the citizens of Kentucky and really globally?
Well, there's several ways. One is like what we're doing here. Also, when we do prevention events, and we go out and we give helmets to children for bicycles and do these kinds of things, you're educating them about brain injury safety. We put on several conferences. We're putting on a conference in Lexington on the 25th of this month on brain injury for professionals, and also for sometimes for lay people as well with information, basic information about brain injury, and so that's all part of it, is educating people about brain injury, because it's such a huge problem. 19% of Kentuckians are affected by brain injury. That's a staggering number.
That is staggering. Is there any cure, known cure for types of brain injuries?
There is not a cure of brain injury. There's only prevention. Now, you can get rehabilitation, and you can improve symptoms, and you can walk better, talk better, you can improve your cognitive abilities, but as far as a cure, no. There's not a cure yet.
Well, and is it also, you were saying some statistics, but is it true that brain injuries are the #1 disabler for children who were ages 0 to 4?
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. Yes. Being a mother, I'm not quite sure I knew that statistic was that high.
Most people don't. Number one. And it's, well, the child's brain, as you know, is not really formed, and it's very easily damaged. And so through either child abuse, which is, intentional types of situations, or dropping children, various types of accidents, cars. That's why the booster seat legislation that we were part of recently, was so very important. Children are very vulnerable to brain injuries. And
how can other people get involved, the community? I always love to give the community a chance to be involved. A lot of people want to help in various different causes, and they just don't know how. So can the community be involved in helping you all spread the word?
Absolutely. Our website is www.biak.us, and our numbers there, our contact information there. That's the best thing I can tell you, is to go to the website, and we would love to get involved with you.
I know that we've done an event together in Lexington with the Lexington Legends, and you're continuing to do great work all across the state. Is there one piece of information that you would like to tell the community at large right now about the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky, that one snippet that they can take away?
Well, one of the big things that we do is we go to the legislature and advocate for brain injured folks. And we have been very responsible for the waiver programs and the Brain Injury Trust Fund and all the services that brain injured folks get. And I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that, because we are constantly advocating for our folks.
That's right, because we can make a difference in our community, but making a difference legislatively is extremely important, because that's the future.
Correct, and they need the support and services as well, exactly.
On what can we do as parents, in going back to the child care part, to prevent brain injury? You mentioned the car seats, but also bicycles. Are there things that parents aren't being taught that we need to be taught for our children's safety? Well,
I think you touched on it. I think also setting the right example. If you're a parent, you're going to ride a bicycle, put a helmet on yourself. As well as, asking your child to put a helmet on. But, that's just being aware of, for brain injury. There's going to be risks in life. We're not asking people to not
wrap yourself in a bubble.
Don't do anything, okay? But when you do involve yourself in activities, take the proper precautions, I would say.
Excellent. Chell, thank you so much. And thanks to the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky for enriching the lives of Kentuckians everywhere, and of course for touching one of our special populations, our military veterans. And for more information, you can visit www.biak.us. I'm Heather French Henry, and thank you for joining us for Heart of Gold.